You're staring at a blinking cursor on a black screen right after you hit the power button on your Linux machine. The screen flickers to life, not with pretty logos but a raw flow of code booting your system. It's not magic, it's an intricate dance of software talking directly to your hardware. But how exactly does your Linux box go from dead silence to a humming powerhouse? That boot process holds the secret to mastering Linux if you know where to look. Booting Linux is like a relay race with hidden runners. If one stage stumbles, you never get to the comfy command line you're waiting for. Let's break down these phases that bring your machine alive. Brian Ward opens with the tale of GRUB, the go-to bootloader. Imagine it standing there at your system's front door in a chilly data center in 2015, deciding which kernel version to load. Its job is subtle but critical. If GRUB misreads the config, your computer won't move past this moment. Think of the kernel as the brain of the operation. The moment it starts getting its signals, it's trying to organize the chaos inside. A kernel panic is like the brain having a panic attack. It encounters something so nonsensical like a missing essential device driver, it just throws up its hands and halts everything, showing you cryptic error codes that feel like ancient runes. Then there's Init, the system's first true organizer. Ward details the battle between System V and Init, the classic, steady old-timer, and the newcomers like Systemed and Upstart. It's like watching fresh, energetic event planners replacing an old-school boss at a big tech party, each with different styles but the same goal: get your system running smoothly. Now that your Linux is booted, the real magic happens under the hood. The kernel becomes the invisible puppeteer, managing hardware, processes, and everything in between. But what gives it this power? Brian Ward walks us through how device drivers are the unsung heroes. For example, when your Wi-Fi card from Intel in a dusty Seattle office sends a signal, it's a driver in the kernel turning zeros and ones into a stable connection. Without these translators, hardware is just dumb plastic and silicon. He compares process management to a concert conductor. Every application, background service, or user command is like an instrument waiting for the cue. The kernel orchestrates when each gets CPU time, memory, and I/O, juggling hundreds of processes so none drown out the rest or starve for resources. File systems are next. Imagine a messy desk where everything spills over. Linux solves this with different filing cabinets like ext4 or XFS. Ward explains how each file system has trade-offs, emphasizing how Linux's virtual file system, VFS, makes all these cabinets look like one neat filing system to programs and users. Linux gives you a command line that's less scary jailer and more powerful ally. But wielding it effectively means mastering shell scripting, automating tasks, controlling pipes, and talking directly to the system. Ward introduces us to Bash, the bashful hero of shells, who's actually your most honest friend. He shares an example of a simple backup script used by a sysadmin named Anna in London, who saved hours every week by automating daily data copies with a few lines of text. He then pulls back the curtain on scripting basics, comparing scripts to recipes. Just like a recipe turns a list of ingredients into a meal, a script sequences commands so your machine performs complex tasks repeatably and reliably, even while you sleep or sip your coffee. Shared libraries get the spotlight last. They're like a public toolbox. Instead of every program carrying its own hammer and screwdriver, they borrow from common code bases. Ward shows how this setup keeps systems lightweight but powerful, and how breaking these libraries can bring your whole system to its knees. Remember that blinking cursor from the start? Now you see it's not just waiting, it's the gateway to a vast, flexible machine you control. Next time you power on, instead of staring blankly, try navigating your system services or crafting a simple shell script that saves you time. When you truly understand how Linux works under the hood, it stops being just a tool, it becomes your digital playground. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.